I'm Anthony Pond, and I played Officer Johnson in the movie. He's a new cop on the beat. But, when me and Dustin were growing up, we were always doing horror movie type things. Like, we'd make our own little movies and skits, and we go out and do like CSI murder scenes and stuff like that. So, when he said he wanted to make a movie, I was all in. Of course, yeah, I'll be in it. I wasn't sure what to do when I was preparing for the role. Dustin, he's a great director, and he always usually gives me like a person or somebody to kind of go off of, so you get like an idea of what kind of character you want for that particular role. So, he'd tell me this or that, and I'd go and I'd watch whatever movies he gave me, and then it just kind of based something around that. And like being a new cop, just anybody that it was new, nervous, or awkward acting in that kind of a like role or job. So I just kind of did something like that. Oh, I always loved it on set. It seemed like every time we were recording or anything, it was more like a family. We weren't at each other's throats or anything. It was always really light, and it was just fun all together. And I can't wait to do another project. I've been a fan of horror films ever since I was a kid, and it was something we were always into all the time, just watching them. And I always have a heart on the classics like Michael, Jason, Freddy, those types. Those are just staples in the industry, really. So like being able to grow up watching those, and then to actually see yourself in it, it just kind of surreal. It's really something else. I don't know, kind of makes me feel like an accomplishment for the little kids, what we used to be, and what we could achieve eventually in our lives. And it's been really nice. It's been a hell of a ride. I think with any kind of scene that I'm doing, one of the most challenging parts is just, you don't know what you look like when you're doing this, and you kind of do it and you feel like you're doing it blind. And it's almost like you're doing the scene and then you just hope it turns out all right. Sometimes you're a toss up. Once you get done, you kind of forget what all you did. So you're like, well, boy, I hope I did that all right. It's like you're very unsure of yourself at moments. I think the most rewarding part of working on TapeHead and the cast and crew and everything is just to be able to be a part of something and get to see, where it takes them. Like being able to help out and knowing that I was able to do just a little bit of something to make somebody's dream come true, or to help somebody's career go a little bit down the line. And it's always great working with people that are so passionate with just what they're doing and making movies and things like that. Whatever your passion is, it's always great to see somebody succeed in that. Working with Dustin and Megan, it's just, I don't know, it's great. They're a couple, but they're not like a couple that get onto each other and they don't argue all the time, and they work it out. They don't, like, if somebody has an idea and it's a little bit different than what the other one has, they come together. It's never bicker back and forth, and it's never gotten heated on set. I hear a lot of sets, it's just terrible to work with the directors, and whether it's a significant other or whoever else they're working with, they butt heads, and that kind of atmosphere didn't happen with us. It was always really lighthearted, and it's just a fun project to be on. Dylan Weeks, he was great to work with. I actually just met him right before we started filming, so I didn't know him real well, but oh yeah, he played his part to a T, and luckily he didn't have a lot of lines that I had to worry about him, trying to bounce off each other. He was always great to work with. Felt like he always knew what he was doing, I thought. Well, one thing about working on this film is kind of nice. I got to do it with my brother. The other police officer in the movie is actually my brother in real life. So working with him and getting to joker and pal around in something like this kind of project, it was nice to just have that, So it was always great working with him, and I can't really pick out a favorite part. I mean, I just enjoyed the whole process, really.
Why would there be fog on a moving car?
Yeah.
Because it's my movie.
Fucking radiator blew out.
You're fired!
When it came to trying to choreograph the fight scene and everything, I've never really had to do that before, so I really wasn't sure what it all entailed. I try to keep, offset on my free time. I try to keep limber, and I'm always exercising because you never know what they're going to ask you to do or like what the scene's going to call for, so you kind of really want to be ready for it. So I try to keep in fairly decent shape and limber enough to, at least half attempt to, shoot something great or cool or something people can enjoy, or at least something that looks good on camera. Now I will tell you, I knew, like, working on films, when you're on this side of it, watching the films, I mean, you don't know everything that goes into it. You can't see it all before you, start acting on your own, or when you're actually in the film, there's a lot going into it. There's a lot of repetition in, like, scenes and certain things you just gotta keep doing, and like there's like you just get embarrassed just because you might do something a little bit wrong, and you really have to get over that. And I think anybody that thinks they can do it should give it a try, and it might not be for you because it's a lot harder than it looks a lot of times. It looks a lot easier than what it actually is when it comes to making films. With the limited budget, I think Dustin and Megan did amazing with what little we had to work with. But I think that also kind of helped us in a way because it gave us like a border, like a limit, and we had to figure ways around that. If we just had unlimited money, we could have just, it wouldn't have felt like a lot of hard work. We could have just slapped something together, and we wouldn't have been near as proud of the end result, I don't think. So putting that budget on it really, it kind of set us down like our own little path, and I think it turned out probably better that way in the end than if we were to have like an ungodly amount of money to put towards it. Oh yeah, now when I'm watching movies, I got a lot of different perspective on it now. Like, and one thing that I never really thought of is when filmmakers, like directors or anybody, they're looking for a certain scene, like they want this scene to look a certain way. And I think I always just took that for granted, I'm just like, well, yeah, they're filming whatever. And I never thought, well, they're trying to get an established shot, they want it to look a certain way. And that just never really came to me, but now it does. And like, I kind of look for cuts now, or like, kind of critique it a little bit different. Like, oh, they could have did that a little bit better. They should have cut that scene a little bit shorter. But I still hate doing that because I'm completely amateur. I mean, I'm not, famous actor or anything. I just in a little movie, and I hate to downgrade anybody else for, their abilities or inabilities or anything like that. Who am I? I would like to thank Megan and Dustin for bringing this all together, and the whole cast and crew for being so great and patient and just getting along so well. And no matter how this turns out, who likes it, doesn't like it, I just want you all to know that I appreciate you very much. And I respect you a lot for everything that you've done and do and did for us. It's just, really appreciate it.
You made me cry.
And little things will always go wrong. That's always going to happen. But, we didn't lose our cool over it. We never got upset or, just scrapped the project or anything like that. Nobody ran off set with their ego hurt or, their feelings hurt or anything like that. And anything that happened, if you did get upset, you were over it pretty quickly. I mean, you didn't really have to worry about it. It helps that, like we're pretty close beforehand, and that's like another thing that I'm really happy about. No friendships got ruined, or nothing got tainted because we tried to work together. And I think that was great. We were able to put everything aside. We have a common goal, and we're determined to get it. It helps working with people. I mean, I haven't had a lot of experience working with strangers or anything like that, but I can imagine how tense that might be. Just meeting somebody for the first time and then having to play out an awkward scene or love scene or whatever, even killing somebody on a camera. It's just, you never know how the other person, it's hard to feel them out sometimes, and working with somebody that I've been close to my whole life. It just, when he said, hey, we're doing this, I'm like, yeah, we're doing this. Like, I was all in. So I mean, it kind of felt like we came full circle, like that. This is where our lives were going to go at one point or another, or at least it should have gone this direction at one point or another.
Right. Just a bunch of kids playing pretend.
That's right. I like that feeling too. Like, we're just sitting around playing pretend. That's what we're doing. I think when people see this film, a lot of this film was made for like people that like enjoyed that type of movie. So like we really made it for horror movie fans in general. And if you're not one of those, it might not be your cup of tea, which is, that's fine. But we hope everybody enjoys it and just takes it for what it is, and just a nice like popcorn style movie that you take your mind off your life for a little while, and hope you all enjoy it. We enjoyed making it, so we really hope you enjoy watching it.